Welcome back again to Lesson 9, Doctor Visit. Last week we talked about your health. In particular, we talked about parts of your body and what to say to the doctor when parts of your body hurt. This week we will talk about the actual doctor visit. But before we get into that, let's start our verse that we keep in our heart and in our mind so that we can remember to focus on God during all of this change and all of these disagreements and conflict. There's a lot of confusion out there. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of different opinions and different ideas of what is going on in our country. So let's focus on God instead of the world. Say the first verse with me. I know you know it. This is our 9th week. So you should remember Philippians 4:6. Good enough to follow along with me. All right? Don't worry about anything. No matter what happens, tell God about everything. Ask and pray and give thanks to Him. So that's Philippians 4:6. Then for the last 2 weeks, we've gone over the next verse, Philippians 4:7. Then God's peace will watch over your hearts and your minds. And here's a new sentence. He will do this because you belong to Christ. He will do this because you belong to Christ. So let's say that in one sentence. He will do this because you belong to Christ. He will do this because you belong to Christ. All right, good job. Let's go over last week's homework. If you did not finish this worksheet, please press pause and finish the worksheet and then press play. Okay, here's our homework. Let's do this together. You have a picture of this man, this patient. I'm going to write the word patient because I don't think we've actually done that. Patient. P-A-T-I-N-T, patient. He's sitting on the doctor bed. And then, of course, here's the doctor, which I know you have seen that word. But I don't think I have ever written the word patient out for you. All right. But he is a patient. All right. They want us to name each body part that is associated with this number. So number 1 is done for us. It's pointing to his eye. E-Y-E, eye. Number 2 is right here. Ear. E-A-R, ear. Number 3 is pointing right here, above his mouth, which is his nose. N-O-S-E, nose. Number 4, all of this we discussed last week is called his head. H-E-A-D, head. Number 5, right here. These called his hand, H-A-N-D, hand. Number 6, right here. This body part is called his arm, A-R-M, arm. Number 7, a long one. Right here in the middle of his body is his stomach, S-T-O-M-A-C-H, stomach. Number 8, right here is his leg, L-E-G, leg. Number 9, this right here is called his foot, F-O-O-T, foot. And number 10, right here, all along here, is called his back, B-A-C-K, back. Now there's another body part that we will discuss later, a common injury, so I'm just going to circle it right now. This part right here, where your leg meets your foot, that part is called your ankle. And I mentioned this later in the film or the video, so I wanted to point it out now. So that is your ankle. So listen for when I talk about spraining your ankle. That's the body part I'm talking about. Okay, you can also sprain your wrist, which we did not talk about last week either, where your arm meets your hand. That is called your wrist, W-R-I-S-T. So your wrist is where your arm meets your hand. Your ankle is where your leg meets your foot. Okay? So those are 2 body parts you will need to know later. But of course, you did not put these on the homework, so no worries there. Then we have part B. Look at the form and circle yes or no. So this is a registration form. You will see forms like this when you go to the doctor. This is a good time to practice our personal information. Here's their name. Often they ask you to put your last name first and then your first name last. Very confusing, I know. But this says last name. So that's Jane. And then first name, the name you're called by, which is Aaron here. Then your address. I hope you remember that word from our personal information lessons. His address is 7690 Walnut Street. The city is Chicago. The state is Illinois. And the zip code is 60602. So street address, city, state, zip code. His phone number, 312-555-2390. His age, he is 52 years old. It says they're asking if he's married, single, or divorced. So he is divorced. That means he was married, but now he is single. That's what divorced means. And then, how are you feeling right now? We know they mean right now because they have the ing. If you remember that lesson, the ing means right now, not in general, not this week, but right in this moment, right now. And right now he feels fine, which makes me wonder why he is filling out a registration form for a clinic. If he feels fine, why is he here? So more than likely, you should say I feel sick, or a body part hurts, like my stomach hurts, my head hurts, my throat hurts. I don't know why he put fine. All right. Number 1 is done for us. His first name is Aaron. Yes or no? We see here, yes. Number 2, his address is 60602 Walnut Street. Address, no. It's 7690 Walnut Street. 60602 is his zip code. So we have to circle no on that one. Wrong street address. Number 3, his phone number is 312-555-2390. Let's look back up at his form. Yep, that's the number. Good job. All right, I hope you remember that little review of our personal information lesson. I know that is a challenging lesson for a lot of you, but don't worry. Before this semester is finished, we will review personal information again, because that is a very, very important lesson for all of you to remember. All right, let's go to today's lesson. Okay, before we start to talk about what happens at the doctor's office, let's talk about how to stay healthy. Stay healthy. That means your body is strong, you feel good, you do not need medicine, you do not need the doctor. So stay healthy. Your book on page 152 in the Foundations book gives you 5 ways to stay healthy. So let's go over them. Here's this familiar picture at the doctor's office. The doctor says, I think you should exercise 30 minutes a day. The patient, person B, says, 30 minutes a day? And the doctor, person A, says yes. So if you have the Foundations book, turn to page 152 and follow along with me as we go through these other 4 examples of how to stay healthy so you do not need the doctor. Here is the page zoomed in so you can see it a little better if you do not have the book at home. My husband Andrew will be the doctor, person A. Repeat what he says. I will be person B. Then you will repeat after me. And then he will say yes. He's confirming what he said before. Okay, ready? We've done the example of exercising 30 minutes a day. Now we're going to go to number 1. Repeat after us. Number 1.
I think you should eat 3 healthy meals a day.
Eat 3 healthy meals a day?
Yes.
Number 2.
I think you should drink 6 glasses of water a day.
Drink 6 glasses of water a day?
Yes.
Number 3.
I think you should take 1 vitamin every day.
Take 1 vitamin every day?
Yes.
Number 4.
I think you should sleep 8 hours every night.
Sleep 8 hours every night?
Yes.
Okay, good job, guys. Okay, what happens when you are not healthy? When you need to visit the doctor's office? When you visit the doctor at his or her office, you need to know the process and you need to know some phrases to describe how you are hurting, what happened to you, or how you feel. So let's learn those phrases. If you are using the purple book in Foundations, turn to 145, page 145. If you are using the red book, step forward, turn to page 104. Page 104. You will find that both of those pages are similar. So there's not a lot of phrases we need to learn about sickness. But we have other phrases about injuries and about medicine to learn later in the lesson. Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds to turn to those pages, and then I want you to repeat after me.
Okay, repeat after me. We're going to do the Foundations book first, page 145, like we said on the previous slide. So let's start. Number 1, stomach ache. Stomach ache. STOMACHACHE. Now the word ache right here means pain, so hurt. Stomach hurts, stomach ache. And you see here he's clutching his stomach. Stomach ache. Stomach ache. So we talked last week about how even though stomach has a CH in the word, it's not pronounced ch. It's pronounced like a K, and ache is the same way. Stomach ache. Number 2, back ache. Back ache. Again, ache means pain. So this means your back hurts. And here he is clutching his back. BACKACHE. Back ache. Back ache. Number 3, ear ache. Ear ache. See that she is clutching her ear? EARACHE. Ear ache. Ear ache. Number 4, toothache. Toothache. That is a very common problem. You usually go to the dentist, not the doctor, for that problem. TOOTH A-C-H-E.
Toothache. Toothache.
Number 5, sore throat. The throat is a part of the body we did not talk about last week, but here it is. So sore is another way to say hurts. If your back is sore, you have a backache. If your throat is sore, we just say sore throat, not throat ache. So sore is S-O-R-E, T-H-R-O-A-T. Sore throat. Sore throat. And another difference is that these are two separate words. Unlike stomach ache, backache, earache, and toothache, where they put it together, this stays two separate words. All right, number 6, a cold. The common cold. C-O-L-D, cold.
Cold. Cold.
So as you know, there's sneezing or your nose is dripping. A lot of times you'll have a sore throat, and your head will feel stuffy. There's a lot of pressure on your head. You might have a headache. Number 7, cough. If you see this motion she is doing right here, cough, C-O-U-G-H. So even though there's a G-H here, it is not pronounced G or J. When you see it at the end of the word, a lot of times it is pronounced like an F.
So it's cough. 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 And you often cough if you have a cold. So if you have a cold, you might have a headache. You might chew, chew, chew. That's sneezing. You might have a snot dripping out of your nose, and you'll have a sore throat and a cough. So that is a cold. Those are symptoms of a cold. And then the last one is number 8, fever. F-E-V-E-R. Fever. Fever. So that is when your head is hot. You have a temperature. So our body's temperature is usually around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you have a higher temperature, if you touch your head and it's really hot, then you probably have a fever. So that's the foundation sicknesses, the diseases there. Your Step Forward book on page 104 has the similar ones. We have cold, cough, earache, sore throat, and then a new one is headache. Number 5, Paula is touching her head. She has a headache. So her head is in pain. Her head hurts. Headache. H-E-A-D-A-C-H-E. Headache. Headache.
All right. Then we have stomach ache. Her stomach hurts. Fever. You have a high temperature. And another new word, the flu. The flu is a specific virus. So you can have a cold. There's many different colds, but there's only one flu, the flu. F-L-U. Now the flu, or I'll pronounce it flu. Flu. Flu has many different symptoms. You can have a headache, a sore throat, a cough, sometimes, but sometimes not. You can have, your head can feel stuffy and or your whole body, all of your body aches. You have body aches. Sometimes your stomach can hurt and you throw up. So you can only eat soup or water. That's called vomiting or throwing up. So that's stomach flu, but sometimes it just stays in your head. And usually you have a fever. So the flu has many, many symptoms. Okay?
Okay, let's see how well you listened. We want to match the health problem with the body part. So we have the health problems over here: cold, fever, earache, cough, stomach ache, flu, sprain, and backache. And then over here, we have body parts that we learned last week. So let's match the health problem with the body part that is affected by it. Number 1, a cold. If I have a cold, what body part is affected? The mouth and nose. A cold usually stuffs up your face. You're sneezing, you're coughing, you might have a sore throat. So your mouth and your nose are affected. Sometimes your head feels stuffy too. Number 2, a fever. A fever is a high temperature. And you usually feel your head, your forehead, to see if you have a high temperature. So a fever affects your head. Number 3, an earache. Ache means pain. So this is another one where if the doctor says, "Tell me where it hurts," you would say, "My ears hurt. I have an earache." Number 3, cough. That hurts your throat. A cough affects your throat. Number 5, stomach ache. Stomach ache, as you remember, ache means pain. So that means your stomach is hurting. Your stomach hurts. Number 6, flu. Flu can affect your whole body. So I put it in red because we have several body parts that hurt. Your stomach, you may be throwing up or vomiting. So your stomach hurts. Your mouth and nose might hurt. A lot of times you have a sore throat or a cough or sneezing with flu sometimes. Your head hurts. You have a headache or you have a high temperature. You have a fever with the flu many times. So the flu affects many body parts. And sometimes your whole body aches. Number 7, sprain. You can sprain many parts of your body, but the most common ones are your wrist or your ankle. Your wrist right here, or your ankle right above your feet. where your leg meets your foot. Those are the most common body parts that are affected by a sprain. But you can sprain your neck, you can sprain your back, you can sprain almost any body part. And then number 8, backache. Pain in your back affects your back. Hopefully that wasn't too hard for you. So this should look familiar to you. We did this conversation last week. When you go to the doctor and you have something hurt, a body part hurt, then we learned the phrase, tell me where it hurts, which is what the doctor says. And we went through this on page 147, where the doctor said, what's the matter? And you said, my head hurts, my eye hurts, my ear, my nose, my neck, my back. My stomach hurts, my arm hurts, my hand hurts, my finger hurts, my leg hurts, my foot hurts. So that's where we're picking up today. That's one phrase and one conversation that you might have at the doctor if something hurts. Sometimes when you go to the doctor, you are not sick. Another common phrase that the doctor will ask you is, what happened? For these 6 phrases, the person is not sick. A bad thing happened to them, so they need medical care. They need the doctor to fix a body part. So I'm going to go through these 6 phrases. I want you to repeat after me, and then we will do this conversation. You will find these phrases on page 151 of the Foundations book. So if you have the purple book, the Foundations book, turn to page 151. If you do not have the book at home, it is fine. Just follow along here. So here it is zoomed out so you can see the whole screen. I did not like these pictures. They are basically the same picture, a bandage on a different body part. It doesn't actually tell you what these phrases mean. So I have found some new pictures, and as you repeat after me, I will show you what this injury looks like. So again, these are not sicknesses like a cold or the flu. They are injuries. Okay, ready? So repeat after me. Number 1, broke my arm. Broke my arm. Okay, so this is what happens when you break your arm. The bones inside are not straight. They're supposed to be straight, and they're not. So if your kids are on the playground or they are running around the house, they have an accident, they break their arm, and it looks like this. So take them to the doctor so they can get a cast. And this white thing here is a cast. All right. Number 2, repeat after me. Broke my leg. Broke my leg. All right, here's a picture of a broken leg. You can see the surgery that happened there. And they got a cast. There's a cast on this guy's leg, but it's hard to see. So I got new picture of the cast. Same thing with the broken leg and the broken arm. Your bone inside your body has been snapped in half, or just broken into pieces or whatever. But you need a cast so you do not move your leg or your arm. Okay. Number 3, repeat after me. Sprained my wrist. Sprained my wrist. A sprain is not as important as not as terrible as a break. Here the wrist is hurting. You can't use it. It hurts to move. You go to the doctor and you get a bandage. You don't need a cast like for a broken leg. It's not as severe of an injury. So you just get wrapped up, put cold ice on it or a cold pack, and rest it for several days. So that is a sprain. Number 4, repeat after me. Cut my finger. Cut my finger. There you go. That's a little cut. There was many pictures on the internet of horrible, horrible cuts, but I chose a small one. Now this one just needs a Band-Aid, but if you have a really, really terrible cut, you might need to go to the doctor and get this gauze to stop the bleeding or to heal the wound, or you might even need surgery if it's a really bad cut. They need to sew it back up. So that's cut my finger. Number 5, cut my face. Cut my face. You can't even tell what's wrong in that picture, so I got this one for you. These are the cuts on his face, on his nose and his cheek. He must have been in a fight. And then there's a special Band-Aid for that called a butterfly Band-Aid. And there's 2 sides to it, and it comes together and pulls your skin together. And then of course they put gauze or a Band-Aid on that and heal that up. So that is cut my face. And number 6, repeat after me. Burned my hand. Burned my hand. So a burn is different than a cut, a sprain, or a break. It looks like this. Sometimes it even bubbles. And that's because you have put fire on your hand. Now, no one puts fire on their hand, but I put this picture here so you know what it means. Something was very hot. For instance, a pot on the stove that this baby is about to touch. When you touch a hot pot on the stove, it feels like there's fire in your hand and it burns your skin. So that is burned my hand. And the treatment for that is different. We'll just go over it right now. Number 1, you turn off the stove or whatever caused you to burn your hand. If it's like a fire, if you were making s'mores, or at a campsite. So you make sure to turn off the heat source. You run it under cold water. Put your hand under cold water. Then you cover it with gauze or a Band-Aid. And then if it is really, really bad, if it does not fix itself, if it's still hurting so much, there's so much pain, you need to call the doctor. Or maybe you can use this kind of stuff. This ointment will help clear up your burn too. So that is the injuries. Now let's go into using the verb to have. You have seen this before. We have done this on a couple of different lessons. But we're going to review it quickly here and then apply it to the doctor visit. Okay, so we practiced saying these 6 phrases. Now I will be the doctor, person A. I will ask the patient, person B, what happened. Person B will respond with the bad thing that happened to their body part. And then I will say, I'm sorry to hear that. I want you to repeat after me after each line. Ready? Number 1, what happened?
I broke my arm.
I'm sorry to hear that. Number 2, what happened?
I broke my leg.
I'm sorry to hear that. Number 3, what happened?
I sprained my wrist.
I'm sorry to hear that. Number 4, what happened?
I cut my finger.
I'm sorry to hear that. Number 5, what happened?
I cut my face.
I'm sorry to hear that. Number 6, what happened?
I burned my hand.
I'm sorry to hear that. Wake up, Kate. It's time to go to school.
Oh, I have a huge headache.
Your head hurts? You have a cough? Oh my, your head is so hot. Your head is hot. I think you might have a fever. We should take you to the doctor. It's okay. The doctor will be here soon.
When?
I'm not sure. Sometime. Oh,
Hi, my name is Dr. Angela.
nice to meet you.
Oh, I see that you are coughing. I understand.
And his head was hot this morning when he woke up. I think he might have a fever.
It seems very hot and he's coughing a lot. Well, let me get out my thermometer. It says it's 101 degrees.
You do have a fever.
You have a fever, you're coughing. Do you have a sore throat? Yes. Okay. Let me hear you breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Do you have a stomach ache? No?
Do you know what it is, doctor?
Well,
Do you know what's wrong with him?
So you don't have a stomach ache, and that I don't think you have the flu, so you might have a cold.
A cold? Well, that's not too bad.
I am going to write you a prescription.
What's a prescription?
A prescription is something for medicine. Take this to the pharmacy.
And we'll get some medicine with this prescription.
You.
Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
I hope you were able to follow along with that video, especially now that we have learned those words. And I'm sure you have all been to the doctor's office before, so you were able to understand what was happening. At the end of that video, the doctor writes a prescription. Prescription. That is a word we have not discussed before, and that is an order for medicine. Medicine, of course, is our pills and other things that help you get better, that cure your sickness or fix your injury, or most of the time, help your pain as well. The doctor writes the prescription for the medicine, and then you take it to a pharmacy. And Safeway or Giant or CVS, those are where many of the pharmacies are. They give you the medicine that your doctor wrote out in his prescription. So on the label for the medicine, right here, there are always instructions. Here it says cough X. So this is probably cough syrup or cough medicine. And it says take 1 teaspoon twice a day. It is very important to take your medicine as prescribed so that you get better and that you don't take too much, because it can be harmful to your health to take too much medicine. So here is 2 different measurements that you will see commonly. Teaspoon is the smaller one, and tablespoon is the big one. Teaspoon, or TSP, tablespoon, or TBSP. That is for liquid medicine. Many times liquid medicine is given to children. And then tablet or pill is what is given to adults. So boys and girls usually get liquid medicine, and that's why it's very important to know the difference between teaspoon and tablespoon. Teaspoon is small, tablespoon is big. And then adults usually get a tablet or a pill. Tablet or pill. Another important thing to remember about medicine is how often should you take it? Should you take medicine 1 time a day? Should you take medicine twice a day? 3 times a day? Every 6 hours or every 4 hours? Those are common instructions on your medicine label. So here, if your medicine label says every day, then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Just 1 time each day. Number 2, twice a day. Twice means 2 times each day.
So that would be 2 times on Sunday, 2 times Monday, 2 times on Tuesday, 2 times on Wednesday, 2 times on Thursday, 2 times on Friday, and 2 times on Saturday. So usually people take their medicine at the same time in the morning and the night. So their medicine is most effective. If you take your medicine right after you wake up in the morning, you might take it at 9 a.m., 9 in the morning, and then you would take another pill at 9 p.m. That's twice a day. Number 3, 3 times a day. So every 8 hours. You see here, each day is check marked with 3 checks. That usually means you take it every 8 hours. So you can set a timer on your phone to remind you to take it. And then number 4 is every 6 hours. So here, there's Monday. You have to take it 4 times that day. This person takes it at 6 a.m., at 12 p.m., at 6 p.m., and then at midnight, 12 a.m. So 4 times a day, every 6 hours. And then number 5 is every 4 hours. They have to wake up in the middle of the night, it looks like, to take their medicine on schedule. 2 a.m., 6 a.m., and 10 a.m. in the morning. 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. in the evening, every 4 hours. So if you have medicine, make sure to look at that label and only take it as prescribed. Only take it as often as the doctor tells you to. Okay, let's see how well you listened with this. Let's match the frequency with the times. Every 4 hours. So let's look here. Which ones is every 4 hours? Every 4 hours is a lot of times, many times a day. So I'm thinking C because it has the most listed. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 4 p.m. 4 p.m. plus 4 hours later is 8 p.m. So I think, yes, these are in intervals of 4. I think our answer is C. Every 4 hours, many times a day. Number 2, every day. Every day. E, that's the only answer that lists the days of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Those are the days of the week. Number 3, every 6 hours. So not as often as every 4 hours. Let's see what that might be. I think it might be B, 8 a.m. with 6 hours later is 2 p.m. Then 6 hours later after that is 8 p.m. and then another 2 a.m. So B, every 6 hours or 4 times a day. Number 4, twice a day. Twice a day. Do you remember what twice means? 2 times a day. Twice means 2. So that will give us A, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And then 5, 3 times a day. That's every 8 hours. That will be D, 8 a.m., 4 p.m., and 12 a.m. midnight.
Okay, so let's repeat these words one more time. Medicine, medicine. Label, label. Teaspoon, teaspoon. Tablespoon, tablespoon. Tablet, tablet. Or another word for this is pill, pill. Okay, last little bit before we leave. Your homework. Today you have 2 pages of homework, but I hope it is not too much. The first page is 5 questions where they give you the word and you choose the picture that describes the word we learned. And then the second page is the reverse. It's the picture and you choose the phrase that goes with the picture. Some of these, like specific medicine, we did not go into, but they are in your book. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed learning about all of our sicknesses and injuries today. Now you know what to say when you have to go to the doctor. Don't forget to ask me any questions you might have if your family or you are sick. All right, I'll see you next week. Stay healthy.